Camp TV thanks you for watching this presentation. We'd love for you to become a member and use your creativity at our station. Please visit hinghammedia.org or call us at 781-836-5094 if you would like to learn more.
Hingham, a town of great history, heritage, and heart. Coming up on today's episode of Hingham Happenings, the library comes to Greenbush commuters as part of an innovative program. Important decisions are made at the high school during the annual town election. Whole Foods invites nutritionist Michael Ng to speak about healthy eating. Glastonbury Abbey continues its lecture series on polarization in America with Louise Packard. Children and adults gather at the South Shore Sports Center for some competitive shootouts for a good cause. All this and more coming up on Hingham Happenings. Hello, and welcome to our June episode of Hingham Happenings. I'm your host, Liz Vire. Some quick local announcements. The Hingham Lions Club will again be hosting the 4th of July celebration with a July 1st fireworks display on Hingham Harbor. This celebration is privately funded by the community. Follow this link if you are interested in making a contribution. Richard O. Swanson, one of the high school's 2 assistant principals, has been hired as the new principal. He was formally introduced as the new principal before the school committee on May 22nd and will be transitioning into his new position as we enter a new school year. We start our show today with All Aboard Greenbush, one book, one train. For busy Greenbush commuters that didn't have time to visit the public library, the library brought their services to them. Librarians met commuters at West Hingham and Nantasket Junction stations to distribute books and information about related programming. Copies of the book, The Race Underground by Doug Most, were available in print and electronic formats. Interested readers without library cards were able to get a temporary card right at the station.
Today is All Aboard Greenbush, One Train, One Book. It's an innovative program in cooperation with 4 public libraries, Weymouth, Hingham, Cohasset, and Scituate. And we are bringing library services to the people. For busy commuters who can't come to the library, we are coming to you.
What we're trying to do is provide outreach to all the commuters who don't have time to get to the libraries. So by doing that, we picked out The Race Underground, which is a book by Doug Most, focusing on the race between Boston and New York to develop the first subway systems. An event like this, one of the really great benefits is it does bring people together. When they're getting on the train and they're sitting there next to someone they may not know, and they're both reading the same book, it may start a conversation. It's a way to build community for people who might otherwise just get on the train, read their phone, and go to work. There was a lot of preparation that went into this event. We're working with the other libraries. I have 2 staff members, the Assistant Library Director, Debbie Clifton, and my Technology Librarian, Anna Byrne, have worked tirelessly to put together the program.
It was a very neat idea for outreach. It's community outreach. Through the grant, we were able to purchase 500 books that we can give to the writers, and hopefully that will then encourage them to come back. But mostly it was just the brainstorming of the 4 directors. We started back in October, making plans for this, working with the MBTA so that we could have these train station visits and other events such as a grand finale at South Station on May 25th.
So April 10th and 11th, we've come to the local stations. Actually, all the libraries from Scituate to Weymouth have been manning the stations at all the Greenbush line, and we're all handing out books to writers of the Greenbush, The Race Underground. We're hoping that they will read it all together. They'll see each other on the train holding the book. It will create a good sense of community. People will want to start talking about the book with each other. And it gives us a chance to also promote library services. So we also have within the book, besides a program of activities, information about how to access our electronic resources, how to sign up for a library card. What we're trying to do is let people know all the things the library can do for them, even if they don't have time to get into the physical library. There's still many ways to take advantage of all the resources and services that we have. So this is a temporary library card, so it will give people access to our online ebooks, audiobooks, digital databases, and what happens is they can kind of test it out, see what it is, get used to it, see if they like it, and then if they would like, they just have to come into the library, register for their permanent card, and then they're good to go for as long as they want to use the services. And we actually have a program with all kinds of things going on at all the different libraries: train trivia, robotics club, anything focusing on trains. We have a speaker coming in to talk about the history of trains. Besides giving away a book, which is very attractive to most people, we also have free coffee, which nobody can resist, chocolate, water. I mean, if you have food and drink, it's going to attract people over. And friendly librarians. Most importantly, we have friendly librarians. And a lot of these people, we know they are part of our community. They're part of our patrons. They see us, they want to come over and chat. And the ones who don't know will find out how good we are. So they'll want to come to the library and hang with us.
I think it's wonderful for them to see us out of the four walls. Libraries are more than just the building. We've been at Linden Ponds and at the Senior Center, and we just know commuters are busy. They work all day and they're tired when they come home, so we're trying to bring the library to them.
So this is the first time we've ever done this. The grant we applied for is actually an innovative grant. This is a program that doesn't really exist. So we're kind of a trailblazer here. We're setting this up. We're going to see how it goes. So far, we have got amazingly supportive comments. The people who we've talked to have been just so excited. They're all aboard Greenbush. So where you can seek more information. So if you go to the website, which is hinghamlibrary.org, you will actually be able to click on our calendar, see all the programs we have. You'll be able to get to our online catalog if you want to, look up a book. You'll have access to all our databases and our digital resources. You'll be able to download movies, music, and books, ebooks, audiobooks, all from our website. So that's a great place to start. Come see us. Let us help you. Let us make your lives better. It's just a really great program, and I think it's going to do a lot for the community.
We hope people realize how much the library does for the community, because we serve all ages.
Wow, who knew the library had all these services? Now let's hop off the train and head to the polls to have our voices heard. Hingham held its annual town election at the high school. Polls were open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and voters were able to cast their ballots for incoming selectmen, planning board, board of health, school committee, recreation commission, and light board members. Everything went without a hitch.
The annual town election is pretty much like all the rest of the elections. We have to make sure that we have people, if they're going to be out of town, they have to do absentee ballots. The DPW sets up all our equipment here, and then we set up the machines, and that's pretty much it. It takes a while, but we get it all together. The high school is great. It's good because we do have the gym here that we can work with. We have two other polling places. One is at the middle school and the other is at the Linden Ponds. Linden Ponds is a closed community, so they just have the people from Linden Ponds vote there.
The polls open at 8 o'clock this morning. They close at 8 o'clock tonight. You have good parking. You have a good space. You have sunlight. It's a very pleasant place to work.
It's pretty straightforward. I was able to find a parking spot right away. The police officer directed me to a spot, and then I came in, checked in at my precinct. I got my ballot. I went up to the table and filled in my selections for the various offices. It took a little while because there's a lot of races this year for different offices. And at the end, I passed my ballot in, I put it into the counter machine, and then I came over here and got my I voted today sticker.
After the votes are collected and the polls are closed, the ballots are then counted and sealed for delivery to the town hall.
As the town clerk, I have to make sure that everything works well. We have all of the equipment here, all of the ballots, all of the people that are working for me, and you just have to gather all the information and the people together to have it run well. We have 6 contested races out of 10. The selectman has 3 people running for it, Eric Haskell, Karen Johnson and Andrew Shafter. And the other race we have is the Board of Health has Elizabeth Eldridge and Katie McBrain. The Municipal Light Board has an incumbent John Ryan and Mike Mullally. And the other contested races are School Committee, Edward Schreier, Michelle Ayer, Megan Burr, Evan Sheehan. And Planning Board also has a race of Gordon Carr and Ted Matthews. And then the Sewer Commission has Nadita Scott, Ben Smith, and Darren Souza.
Well, I think it's a special election because we have so many contested races. We have multiple people running for single spots, and we have multiple people running for the school committee, which has 2 spots open. But I think that's the sign of a really good, healthy government in our town, that people want to get involved and work and volunteer for the town. So I think that's what makes this election both special and important, because you're picking people who are going to be on the school committee, on the Board of Selectmen, Board of Health, Recreation Commission, Planning Board, all great committees who do good work for the town.
Well, I think any election, particularly for selectmen, is important because these 3 people really set the tone for the town, are guardians of so many of the assets of the town, make so many important decisions for the town.
There's all great candidates, but I think that for somebody to drive by and maybe say, oh, okay, this is Jamie Kenny, we've chatted, we're aligned on many things, I think it's just helpful, and it just also just shows Evan that I'm really grateful for all the time that he's taken and what he's about to hopefully embark on with dedicating 3 years to school committee.
Elections are sort of like a kind of a homecoming or a gathering, so when they come and vote they see all their neighbors and people that they haven't seen for a while, as well as myself. I don't get to see a lot of people, so it's kind of a fun day, and you're also doing your civic duty.
If you don't vote, you have no complaints about how the world is going to treat you. If you vote, you've at least put your voice to the situation. You should always go out and vote. It's your right. A lot of people paying for their lives to be able to vote.
I just hope that the voters in town do come out today and make some informed choices about our election. Town government is really dependent on good people serving on a lot of different elected boards. Citizen participation is critical.
To inform you, these are the election results. Board of Selectmen, Karen A. Johnson. Board of Health, Elizabeth Eldridge and Kate McBride. School Committee, Michelle Ayer and Edward J. Schreier. Planning Board, Gordon M. Carr. Moderator, Michael J. Puzo. Board of Assessors, Stuart Gregory Hall. Municipal Light Board, John P. Ryan. Housing Authority, Devaline Cooper. And Sewer Commission, Stephen G. Harold. Recreation Commission, Nandita S. Scott. All that voting is making me hungry, but still wanting to make an informed decision. Let's head over to Whole Foods Market to understand nutrition. Michael Ng, a guest educator for Whole Foods, taught an educational class on understanding the health benefits of good nutrition. Michael had attendees try his nutrient-packed smoothie and held an informative Q&A session. Attendees received 3 of Michael's favorite Whole Foods Market products. Are you hungry for something nutritional?
So what we have here today is actually one of 4 classes. I call it Class 101. And in Class 101, it basically teaches you the most nutrient-dense foods that we have. By teaching the highest nutritional foods for vitamins and minerals, then you have the option to pick those and add them to your foods, not necessarily change everything. And I think that's more sustainable than trying to change, how you're going to eat entirely.
To shop at Whole Foods Market, you really need to understand what you're putting in your basket. So to understand those labels, that are something really hard to understand. It's a good key when you're shopping with us, and he's really going to help you understand those.
My preparation actually has been for the last 3-4 years, and that's actually from my children, and making it so that they can enjoy it and eat it. And so by them tasting it and testing it, if they didn't like it, I know if the kids don't like it, grown-ups aren't going to like it either. So it went through that whole process, And then I finally consolidate all the information into one program, and now I'm able to actually execute and launch a program to actually 4th graders.
It's a lot of communication with the educator. It's really what they want to relay, and then also how they can translate that to the Whole Foods Market guest. So it's a little bit back and forth, recipe building, and then also, you know, what kind of products they need for the event, what we could give in our swag bags. We're giving swag bags out tonight for this event. And so he's actually going to be making a smoothie with those items.
So what we're going to do today is actually go over some foods that are high in mineral content. So for example, how do you get magnesium or calcium? And I give them 3 different options. I do the same thing with vitamins and kind of explain how they all work together. So when we talk about vitamins, we usually talk about one vitamin at a time. But the truth is, when you get them from whole foods and eating them, there's a lot of biomechanical chemistry going on, and so they all fit together. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And then at the end, I actually have a certificate to give everybody once they pass this seminar.
What made the presentation unique, though, although I enjoyed all of it, is how Mike spoke about eating healthy. If you consistently eat healthy, you won't want to eat unhealthy. If you do eat unhealthy now, and if you stop eating unhealthy, high sugar foods, high fats, high carbs, if you do a 7 to 10 day cleanse, you can actually get off that bad diet. And once you start eating healthy, start eating kale, start incorporating more high nutrition foods in your diet, you actually crave those high nutrition foods over the unhealthy foods.
Good nutrition to me is something that is sustainable. So there's a lot of diets and programs out there that I've seen, but quite frankly, it's very hard to stick with them because the American way is we celebrate with food. We do it with our families, our friends. I mean, we celebrate a lot. And so if you take our favorite foods and you're not able to eat them and you villainize them, then it's very hard to stick to a good diet. So by teaching them how to get access to better foods, you can add it as a side dish or part of what you like to eat and put nutrition into your current meals. And I think that's more sustainable. I have a basic smoothie, and I actually like to use it for breakfast. And the reason why I have that is because I believe when you're eating foods, if you can pulverize it into a smoothie, you're gonna digest it much better. Matter of fact, it's not like, I don't like to eat kale a lot, but I can reassure myself every day if I put it in a smoothie, I can mix it with other things that will make it taste good, so I'll drink it and eat it. So for example, I like to have a cup of kale in it. I might use orange juice or water depending on the taste I want it. I'll use half a whole banana. I like to put goji berries in there for antioxidants, makes your skin look beautiful. Also blueberries in there. I like to put goji berry, considered a superfood. You actually probably live off them, right? And then I like to put a teaspoon of chia seeds, a teaspoon of nutritional yeast, and then you just mix it up until it's totally one uniform color, and there's my breakfast. And with that smoothie, you're going to get a good portion of your vitamins right up front through the day. So that way I don't have to worry about, so-called the lunch and dinner as much as that.
I think the Hingham community is always looking for something new to do. We found that here people are really health-minded focused. So creating events like this is really just an added value to our guests.
I think a lot more people don't know what they're eating, they don't know what nutrition they're getting, and I think this class would be very beneficial for everyone.
Well, I would say that anytime I can do these type of sessions and reach out, even if it's just one person, but once you feel that one person, they reach out and say thank you, I think there's no better feeling than that.
It's so hot in this studio. I could really go for a smoothie right about now. To bridge into our next topic, we'll stop by Glastonbury Abbey for their Listening to Other Voices lecture series. Louise Burnham Packard, Executive Director of Trinity Boston Foundation, presented Building Bridges in Boston. Louise shared stories of changing lives, building relationships, and building community. It was quite an insightful event.
This evening is the last lecture of the series year for Glastonbury Abbey. They established this series 18 years ago under the overall title of Listening to Other Voices to foster interfaith dialogue. And each year they have a theme, and this year's theme has been about polarization with a sub-theme of Can the Lamb and the Lion Dwell Together? And in an era in which everything seems to be so angry and so polarized, the lecture committees brought in a series of speakers for each of these lectures to address this issue, to give some people some hope.
As a monastery, we are a center of hospitality, and our ministry is to reach out in different ways, through worship, through lectures, through classes. We have many different things going on, and this lecture series, as I said, it particularly has the dimension of an interfaith dimension, that we have Buddhists and Hindus, and Orthodox and Jews, Muslims contributing to that. And this year we look for people that were relevant in different areas where our society is polarized, and the racial issue is one of the very, very important ones. And so Louise Packard was asked tonight to address some of what's going on in Boston.
I wanted to talk about a couple of things, particularly the context in Boston, which is one of the most segregated cities in America and has some of the most greatest income inequality, and talk about how in that context youth, many of whom have experienced trauma, have a variety of needs, and I'll talk about our programs and how our programs address those needs, and then about our work that looks at how can communities best support young people, and what are the practices that schools and nonprofit organizations should adopt in order to provide the most supportive environment for young people. Trinity Boston Foundation has the wrong name because it sounds like we have a lot of money and we give it away, neither of which is true. It is a subsidiary of the church that runs programs for youth, particularly youth of color, low-income youth of color in Boston. And so we raise money, and we have a staff of about 22 people, and we do a lot of work across the city.
My mom had told my wife and I about this series and several other of the talks that they were having here, and this was one that was just kind of aligned with things that I'm actually interested in my professional career. It's related to me because I'm a school counselor at a low-income school, high needs. So a lot of the work that I do with urban youth. And so I just was curious to hear about the opportunities that this organization provides youth. I definitely think that it's a worthwhile opportunity to come down here. I mean, it's free. They look for a donation, which is extremely reasonable. And again, if you don't have anything to offer at that time, then you're still welcome. You're never not made to feel that way. And I think that it's just a great opportunity for anybody to, one, visit a beautiful space, and then two, to be able to participate in an amazing opportunity.
I think there is a deep yearning for engagement and finding a way to make a difference. And so I hope that one or two people tonight might say, gosh, I'd love to get involved in that. We have many volunteer opportunities, and I think that the chance to get to know our young people who are fantastic, and the chance to feel that you're contributing and supporting the next generation can add a lot of depth and meaning and richness to your life.
In terms of the work that Louise does with the Trinity Boston Foundation, she's working primarily with, her foundation works with children of color in the city of Boston. And that's important to the suburban communities like Hingham, because what happens to these children and how they feel if people are invested in their future is going to impact the kind of adults that they become, and that is going to impact our futures here in Hingham and in any suburban community around any city in the country.
And I hope that people will come away inspired to be part of the effort to reduce those barriers and support young people.
Now, enough of building lasting relationships. Let's compete. For a good cause, of course. The South Shore Sports Center hosted the 8th annual Knockout Cancer fundraiser. Each year, over 150 people participate in fun basketball competition, and the majority of the funds go straight to the Jimmy Fund. Let's have some fun raising some money and awareness for breast cancer research.
It's a get-together called Knockout Cancer, where a lot of kids come from various age groups to play basketball and just to play with their friends, and it's in honor of not only Mrs. Mannion, but Mrs. Kane, who have been diagnosed and both passed due to breast cancer. And it's in honor of them, and it's to raise money for cancer research.
It's a fundraiser for the Jimmy Fund. It's a basketball shooting contest. It's the 8th year of it. We have 2 contests at each age group, hot shot and knockout. And then we end the evening with one big knockout game open to all ages. First couple of years we were at the Hingham High School, but we moved it here to the South Shore Sports Center. That way people here can also have something to eat and drink. So again, the South Shore Sports Center has a pub menu, pizza, chicken wings, things like that, plenty of drinks. And again, they give part of what they make today to give back to the Jimmy Fund. We have 2 contests at each age group, hot shot and knockout. And then we end the evening with one big knockout game open to all ages.
What happened, it was Paige Kane, and she was fighting cancer, and John Mannion and others came up with this idea to let's see what we can do to do our part. And a whole lot of us have been in it since the beginning, I think. And it was just a matter of, okay, John, what do you want us to do? And he had this idea that so many of us and our children were involved in the sports and all that, and particularly basketball and all. He said, let's do Knockout Cancer.
We thought initially it'd be a 1-year event. People had a great time, so we've continued it. And again, with Jan passing last year, we still continuing on because we want to do what we can. It's a small part of fighting cancer, but any part helps. And our goal is to keep on helping the Jimmy Fund and one day hopefully help end cancer.
This is kind of the hub of basketball throughout the years with the Friday night basketball that Mr. Mannion has always gotten together with the high school level kids. It's easy to be here. People know it. People are comfortable here. There's a nice room and the parents can watch the kids do their thing, and it's just welcoming. It's just a great spot.
It's really great because it has the aspect of you can really participate no matter what your age and affiliation. You've got everyone from little kids to parents playing today, but also they're able to come here and just watch their kids play if that's what they want to do. So it's a really kind of welcoming environment no matter what you want your role to be in the event.
At first you play Hot Shot, which is a game where from various locations on the court you shoot and each one's associated a different point value. Whoever has the most points in the end moves on to the final round and then wins based on that one. After that you play Knockout, where you have a line of people, you shoot in order free throws. If you miss the first one, the person behind you has a chance to get you out by making it. Otherwise you just keep shooting, and if you make it you go to the end of the line. It's a lot of fun. Like as soon as you get here they get you involved, they get you playing basketball and just playing with your friends, and then there's always something to do the whole time you're here and just having a good time.
I heard that my friend Connell's mom was sick. I went to a funeral last year and I thought I should honor and be respectful to him, so I came to this. At the Hingham basketball banquet, they talked about it and they gave me a sign-up sheet, so I registered and paid that way and sent it in the mail.
I've been involved in this event for a while. My dad helped start the event back probably eight or something years ago, so we've always been a part of it, and it's just been a good thing, and we've been happy to be here. It's just been a great thing. It combines 2 good things. You're raising money for breast cancer awareness, and you're also just playing basketball and having fun, so it's been a good time.
To my friends who have never done this before, I would say it's a lot of fun. There's always something to do, and you're just having a great time. You can always there's never-ending fun.
I think especially for this year, another mom passes away this past year from cancer, so it's just more reason to show up another year to support each other as friends and family, and the kids to support their peers, and to just keep it alive because it's necessary and it's easy and it's fun and it affects everybody. So I just know that the kids at the high school and the parents enjoy coming and they look forward to it every spring.
Well, again, the most important thing is fighting cancer. That's a little redundant, but that's what we're here for. So that's the number one thing. But once again, the camaraderie, seeing people, and again, everyone here, if you walk around, you see a lot of smiles, everyone's having fun. So it's a great day that people really look forward to.
Kobe has nothing on those kids. Well, that's all for this month. Tune in next time for another exciting episode of Hingham Happenings. If you have any suggestions for a future episode, please email us at hinghamhappenings@hinghammedia.org. Thanks so much for watching,